Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you back. I gotta get my screen right here though. All right, wait. Gotta get it so I can see both of us together, side by side. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You are back at my spot. This is the place where the conversation is pointed and the guests are sharp and the responses are never dull. Returning back to On the Edge is Frances Pullin. Brains, you're going to go back and listen to our first interview. It was amazing. And look at her. She's coming back to update me and let me know what's happening. She channels Mozart. And Brains, she told me that he likes me. We had a wonderful time. She is a friend of the show. We have had lunch together at a wonderful, how was that Italian restaurant? Is it still open?
It's still open, better than ever, and you're coming up, girl.
I'm going to come up again because it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. She is also on the board for, let me make sure I get this right. You're on the Holistic Chamber.
Yes.
Now, this is the first time I've ever heard of a chamber being designed and implemented and enacted to serve a particular modality. So we want to talk about that. She's got an upcoming retreat. And she's also the author. So welcome back to the show. I'm so glad to have you, beautiful.
I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you so much.
Yep.
This is going to be so fun.
It's going to be fun. So give us an update. Well, first of all, tell them a little bit about you, because I'm going to rerun the show, the first show, and this one too. But tell them a little bit about you, and then I want to update.
Was a mother of 4. Lost a son to a heart attack at age 33, which kicked my BUTT and put me on the journey of spirituality and brought peace to my heart. That was in 2003, and that was a long time ago, 19 years, and I'm a different person. He would have been a different person. Sometimes I wonder who he would be if he was still here, but I talked to him in spirit, and what else can I say? Life is beautiful.
It is, but you told me about all the different metamorphoses of changes that you went through, and I know you're still tender. It was 19 years, and when we had lunch that day, your eyes welled up with water as if it had happened yesterday.
It could have happened yesterday. I can cry for you right now because it's that poignant, but it's also brought growth to my life. And he and I, evidently, from what I understand, had an agreement before we came to the earth to do this dance, and he would leave so I would get kicked in the behind and enjoy this new path that I'm on. And it's teaching love of self to others after learning how to love me. So it's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
I know, it's huge, because I can't imagine having someone, I've had loss in my family. Well, I did. My brother was, they found him dead. Just didn't get to say goodbye. But it was so odd how the spirit speaks from beyond, because I listened to a voicemail that I hadn't listened to. And he had said goodbye. I was going to pick him up. And he goes, "Hey, April, I need you to do X, Y, Z and tell mom, blah, 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 and tell my daughter, da, da, da. And what are we going to do with Tootsie?" Tootsie was his dog. He loved Tootsie. And Bitsy, that's what we call his wife, Little Bits. He had spoken into fruition a goodbye to all of us before he actually made that transition. So they speak to us, Brains. My mother talks to me all the time, all the time. And her voice resonates with me more so now probably than when she was doing the transition. Spirituality. You said that you were not a spiritual person prior to your son's passing. Did you grow up with any religious doctrine? Were you anti? Were you just not in with it? Where were you at that
I
point?
was raised as a Methodist, and at some point after getting married, I fell away from everything. I I didn't go to church. I didn't raise my kids in the church. I had some, I don't want to call it angst exactly, but I didn't believe everything they were teaching me.
Mm.
Somewhere deep in my heart, I had another belief system. And the spirituality is a path where you get to believe what you want to believe. There's nobody leading you and saying, God will strike you if you're doing this, because I don't believe God strikes people. Yeah. I just had my own thought system, and I wanted to know why I was here, and why did I come to Earth, and why was I living this life, and what was I supposed to do with it? Raise these 4 children and then, raise my grandkids. I don't know. So I became entrenched in some meditation classes, and meditation brought me to some automatic writing, meeting my guides and angels in meditation, and to the channeling where I can channel others, because once a spirit knows you channel, they want to come through and bring a message. But my main guide is Amadeus Mozart, and we lived together in that life of Amadeus. And at that point, I was his older sister, and my name was Nanro. That was my nickname. My name was Anna Maria, but they called me Nanro. That was my nickname. And he is here with me now to help me to be on stage, which I could not be in that lifetime.
All right. Now, you know me and your friends. This is not personal. This is all about the media business. Some people might have said you had a breakdown. Some people might have said that the death of your son spiraled you out of control. What do you say to that person?
Absolutely. It did. I went down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
I got into a deep depression. I felt sorry for myself. I was wounded. Why me? Why him? Why? And when I came out of the rabbit hole, I was sitting in a meditation class.
Wow.
That a friend of mine invited me to, that she had just created. And the journey has been nothing but sent by God. And I don't usually say God. I say universal source, energy source.
You don't say God? Girl, I call it. Well, that's what it is to me. Universal source. Those are outside influences, but God is it. And it's
gotta say God.
But it's difficult to really kind of wrap your head around that this one source, because it can't, God can be a female. Right. God is not, is what are they, non-binary. God is gay, God is straight, God is white, black, blue. And it's hard to get your head around the concept that this one source that we call has created the heavens and the stars, and that we pay homage to this energy force. And there's so many elements to it. It's not just about the book that you read, or the doctrine, or the interpretation of the person that's at the pulpit, what your parents thought, what the doctors are saying, what mental health experts are saying. But it's more about your heart and your soul, and how you actually feel in these different times, in these different emotions. How you always see, people always are hypocritical because they don't want to believe in God, but let something happen. They dialing that number. And it's so disingenuous. I just don't understand why you just can't lend yourself to knowing that this is it. I don't know. I just believe it. I just believe it. I believed it since I was a child. I've seen it. I've had out of body experience. I know that God is real. I do. And I'm not going to spend my life trying to convince other folks. You have to have your own personal walk, your own personal journey. And so you're doing that. You're guiding people's footsteps. You are now are you the chairperson?
I'm the president of the Tustin Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and we meet once a month, and it's a group of holistic minded business people. We're all business people, no matter what we're selling or doing. Some are accountants, some are insurance people, some sell CBD oil. Doesn't matter what you do. You want to have a group where you can go to and have like-mindedness. And so that's what we have. We have like-minded, and we're growing the chamber. We're making it bigger and stronger and better.
But when you say like-mindedness, that's kind of ambiguous. What is your like mind? Because spirituality, like I said, is like a religious doctrine. It's very individualized. How you channel, how you are able to get into the metaphysical world, how you are able to connect your emotions and teach people is not the gift that everyone else gets. So how are you, like, is it a philosophy? Is it a way of thinking?
It's a way of thinking, yes. It's a way of putting, you can say God, and we've said God, but God could also, for other nationalities, represent another word. Mm-hmm. A Buddha, a rabbi, whatever we want to get into. But we all have a philosophy that being kind to one another, being forgiving, non-judgmental. There's a lot of things that go with spirituality. And yes, some people in spirituality pass judgment, but you can call them on it and you can say, wait, let's not do this. Mm-hmm. And so I feel that we become better people on our daily walk of life. And we resonate that, yes, God is our supreme, but we can call him whatever we want.
Mm-hmm. So there's more of a freedom there. You have more of an ability to be a little bit more philosophical and creative with your experiences. Okay. Yes. All right. That's good. Because again, there's going to be somebody to say, this is an occult. This is who.
Oh, I heard that the other day on the radio, and I thought, Betty, you don't know what you're talking about, because it was judging us. And what we ask for is non-judgmental. So we're trying not to judge the outside. We don't want the outside to judge us.
But you know what, Frances? Judgment is a part of your boundaries also. You judge based upon your experiences or limited experiences or ignorance. Brains, ignorance is just not knowing. Doesn't mean that you're stupid, that you just haven't been turned on to it. We're going to get turned on and turned up because Frances is doing the work. Tell us about your teaching.
I teach meditation. I teach automatic writing. I teach.
Tell us, wait, slow down. Tell us what is automatic writing, because that's powerful.
Okay. It's a great course where I walk people through a meditation, and in the middle of the meditation or thereabouts, I invite in an energy. Could be their guide, their angel, it could be a grandma. With you, it could be your mother would come in. And you have a conversation with them and you connect to the other side and they guide us. So if I have something stressful going on in my life, I can write a question. I can say, what about this interview I'm doing today? Is it foolish or is it great? And I'll just close my eyes, do a quick meditation, and I'll start to write. And it's not my handwriting, it's someone else's. Usually it's Amadeus, but there are others who come and write with me, like my own mom. Anyway, getting back to what happens is I get an answer. The answer says, this interview is fabulous. This is a great woman. This is going to get all that you believe in out into the public one more time. And I say, thank you. And they say, I love you. And I say, I love you. And I have my answer. So here I am.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Is there an expectation on the answer? Because I do that, okay? When I tap into my subconscious mind and I go into a deep meditation, I'm just asking for the universe to confirm what I'm thinking. Okay, nothing else is in my mind about what if this doesn't happen? What are the other choices? I just want confirmation. That can be troublesome because everything is not the way that we plan it. So what if you get a response from this automatic writing that is in contrast, maybe not negative, but in contrast to what you believe? Doesn't that kind of mess with your vibe, mess with your mind? Because now you're wondering, okay, so what else is going to happen? Or is there something bad going to happen? Or I can't trust this. I can't believe this. I can't believe in myself. There's a lot of questioning to that, I would think.
You said one very important word, trust. Trust. And if my guides and angels have said trust to me once in my lifetime, they have said it 100,000 times. And sometimes when I'm writing, they say trust, 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 trust. And I write every time they say it. If you pick up one of my books, of which there are 2, they both cover that when they say trust, as many times as they say it, I write it down. And they help me write my books. And so if they say trust during the book, you're going to see it 5 to 7 times. I don't know. I don't care. And if they would have said, trust us, don't do this show. This woman is a charlatan. She's just going to create havoc in your life. I would have given you a jingle and said, I'm not feeling it today. So you still have choice. You have ultimate choice. I could listen to that charlatan word and I could say, oh, I'm doing it anyway. And then I suffer the consequences. Or if I get that message and I call off the interview, then nothing lost, nothing gained. But they lead me and they help to lead me to be the most better person I can be. I am so much better as a person because of what I'm doing than if I would have been on that same treadmill, doing the same thing every day. I think I do things differently now.
Yeah. I know when we first talked a while ago, you told me at first that your husband wasn't feeling what you was doing. He was wondering, like, what done happened to my Francis pool? What happened to my boat? Has he really kind of seen the manifestation of your work, and is he coming along now, or is he still allowing you to explore yourself in your space? Because I think that's cool too. He didn't bother you. He said, okay, if this is where you are, baby. Just make sure you cooking dinner.
You got that. I cook dinner every night. He's less, I would say, judgmental. He doesn't say, oh, are you going to the woo-woo school? He doesn't poke fun at it. He just knows that it's part of my heart. And it means so much to me that I do what I want to do and he does what he wants to do, and we come to bed together and we break.
And we come to bed and everything's fine. No, but yeah. he experienced a loss too. He experienced the loss of your son.
Huge loss.
And as much as you can share, what was his kind of experience? What did you see him go through?
He was very, very quiet and strong. He was, oh, don't do this, Francis. Okay, do it if you want. He was there to support me because he, like no other, understood how painful everything was. And so by supporting me and holding me up and handling the details, and then one day I came home, we were moving out of our house of 30 years, and I came home and he was standing in the garage crying. And I said, "What's up?" And he said, "Look." And our son had made chocolate truffles every Christmas. And there was a container filled with chocolate. All we could do was throw the chocolate away, but we didn't want to because it felt like throwing him away. So anyway, we got through that, and my two sons and his daughter come to my house every year at Christmas and make chocolate truffles.
That's right. The truffle will live, and chocolate makes everything better.
Doesn't it?
Share with us your books. Do you have them there with you?
I didn't. I have my background. That's my second book. My first book is called It Is I, Amadeus, Channeled Messages from Spirit. And it talks about my journey into spirituality. So if anyone's questioning or doubting or thinking it's a cult or whatever they want to say, I know that my guides and angels had told me early on that there was going to be pushback. And they wanted me to know that I just needed to be ready to say, thank you, I love you, I respect your opinion, and shut my mouth. And so that's what I do. I have had very little pushback. The second book, and the reason it's my background now, is called Loving the Me and Me, Grounding in the Love Vibration. And I went through a journey of about 3 years, visiting painful experiences, wrapping them in white light and pink bubbles, and just watching them float away, and forgiving the person who did the atrocity, but most important, forgiving me for playing a part in it. So I've come to a place of respect for me, and I'm doing a retreat, and without this energy, I wouldn't be doing a retreat. I would be retreating.
Right.
So in June 9th through 12th, I'm having a fabulous retreat in Sedona, and I'm teaching from the book. I have an accompanying workbook, and we are going to go through some really heavy emotions for whoever's ready. And some will come out loving themselves and looking in the mirror and being able to say, I love you, and looking into their eyes and believing that they are worthy and they were born in perfection.
Right.
We just have to get back to it.
Well, the retreat is going to be very powerful. You're holding it. I looked at the retreat space. If it wasn't my 38th wedding anniversary, I'd be there. So the next one, I'm there. Because Sedona and Arizona is a vortex within itself. The energy there, just when you pull up, when you cross the state line into the city of Sedona,
and it just goes.
Everything, it explodes. It really explodes. Brains, if you ain't been there, you better try to get there, because it is from another scene. Okay, it's close to New Mexico, where there's aliens. Do you believe in aliens, Francis?
I was born in Los Alamos, New Mexico.
Oh, shoot.
I chose where I was going to be born. I chose my name, my birthday, time birth, etc., etc., etc. And I chose to be born there. And my father worked for the Atomic Energy Commission. And yeah, I believe in aliens. And right now I have a group called Xiphon, and they say they are from Sirius. They are Pleiadians, and I channel them.
They're from Sirius, not the radio station? I'm just
nah.
I'm just joking. Well, they are totally beamed in, because I believe it too. We would be ignorant, again, Brains, I told you, ignorance is just not knowing, to think that we are the only solar system with any life form, and to think that we're the smartest ones on the planet, because I know some ding dongs. And I'm not talking about uneducated people. I'm just talking about just some straight up, just don't even want to try to learn, right, to expand, to grow, to give anybody an opportunity. So there are other life forms. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they smell like, but I know that there's something else out there outside of us. So let me ask you some fun questions. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, what would you be?
If I was an appliance in the kitchen, maybe I'd be the refrigerator because I'd be full of food.
I think I want to be a mop so I can help clean up. I want to help clean up some mess.
Yep.
I do.
I thought too about the dishwasher for the same reason. I thought, I could be the dishwasher. Everything would be clean.
What brings you the greatest joy?
My grandchildren.
Yeah.
My grandchildren. And not without saying, my belief system. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe what I believe and I don't care.
Right.
That others may not believe me. I invite them to listen, join, or walk away. I'm not here to make anybody different if they're not ready.
Right. Because you got to be ready for it. What brings you to tears outside of the memory of your beautiful son?
The last time I cried was the day my grandson won the game ball at his Little League baseball game.
Oh, boy.
Because he's not an athlete, so to say. He's not a natural athlete, but he started hitting the ball. And the coach recognized it that day. And I just sat there and cried. So everything makes me cry.
You're sweet. You're this big old marshmallow.
I am.
What are 3 things that you cannot live without?
Cannot live without. If everything was taken away from me, I could not live without nature. The gardening, the trees, picking fruit. I couldn't live without interaction with others. I'm a people person. I'd love to be with people. I love to express my joys and hear their joys and their sadness and try to make them heal. Number 3. I couldn't live without my family. And I know each one will leave when their day is nigh. But if they were all gone, I would probably be gone too.
So let's talk about your legacy and transition for a minute, because I know that that's heavy on your heart. If this was your last day, how would you spend it?
Ooh, strange, tough question. A very dear friend of mine just left. So if I think of him and his family and me and my family, I would spend my day with my family, with I call them my littles. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 that are little. I have 2 that are big. And I have a great granddaughter. I would pull the whole group together and just take photos and talk and laugh. And what I do more than I do anything else, I think, is I watch.
Yeah, I know.
I observe.
I watch. I would have to get my braids done. I would get my nails done. I'd have us a fabulous meal, my favorite cocktail. I'd make love to Mr. Magnificent till I was just blue in the face. And I'd probably do a podcast.
There you go.
I would want to share a message of what this life and this journey has meant to me and what people like you mean to me, that not only entrust me in telling their story, but allow me to promote them and market them, to have a conversation with them, to be open about things I don't understand. Whether we agree or disagree, we don't show up disagreeable on the edge, because that's not how you learn. I'm not here to be combative. I'm here to be informational. I'm here to be impactful and insightful. And that's exactly what you do. And I appreciate you so much. Brains, when you hear her channel, Amadeus, it's amazing, because she even dressed up for me. I don't want to ask her to do it right now because it's going to mess up the first interview, but I loved it so much because at first, and I'm going to keep it 100, at first I'm like, when I first talked to her and I was like, she says, and I'm a channeler. And I said, really? And she says, and I channel Mozart. And I said, well, I'm a classical music lover. No, you don't. She said, oh, yes, I do. And everything about it was so surreal. It was very authentic. It wasn't no bullshit. And I was like, wow, this is really, really incredible. That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy. I know that you've mastered it at this point, but can it be draining?
Absolutely, yes. Because I step aside, I step out of ego. And for those listening, ego is not a bad thing unless you use it bad.
Yeah, I work with an ego coach, and I can tell you, and she done taught me how to master that sucker. So it is.
Ego is great, but when you step out of ego, then that emotional part of you has moved aside and allowed someone else's energy, a spirit, to come and talk through your voice box. And you remember bits and pieces, but you don't remember it all. But you know that something has happened to your audience, and they love to ask questions and get answers, but they're kind of in awe that I've allowed this to happen. And I'm not afraid. I'm blessed. I'm in joy. I love getting messages. My retreat is going to have messages from him. I even went to Austria and visited the grave of Nannerl.
Oh, really? His sister?
And into my left ear, I can still hear the voice said, you have the energy. There is nothing here for you. Because I was looking for more answers. And she was verifying that I was that soul from that lifetime. And I already had it. So what was I looking for?
All you had to do is believe. I
believe.
Well, tell us about how to purchase a copy of the book, how to get more information on the chamber. And you have the upcoming retreat, but I'm sure that this is not going to be the beginning. I mean, the end. This is going to be the beginning.
This is the beginning. And as I call it from my gal who worked with me to get me to this point, she brought me my courage. And so my courage is now there. And this one is not even begun. And I'm thinking about where the next one will be. So my books can be purchased on Amazon. And they're on Kindle. They're out there. They can be purchased on my website. And if you purchase from my website, I include a little note to you and sign it. So if you're into that kind of thing, I do that too. Do
you do private channelings?
I do private channeling. I do private sessions. Always. Everything is on my website. Francis with an E, Pullin with an I.com.
All right.
So if you spell it right, you'll find me, and everything's there. You can make an appointment right on the website. You can call me at 714.
I always tell you, gotta cut I always tell you, don't give folks your phone number.
I give my phone number to everybody.
Do you? Girl, you got the telemarketers might be watching this, and
I know, but if you don't leave a message, I don't call you back.
All right. Brain, she gonna give you her phone number.
I am 714 904-8395. And if you're really interested, you'll leave me a voicemail and I will call you back.
Check it out, Brains. It'll blow your mind. Okay? It will blow your mind. Thank you so much, Queen. I adore you. I can't wait to come up there and have some more Italian food. We'll probably do it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, this month's getting tight, and then you got the retreat. When you come back, and then you can tell me about the retreat. I know that you're going to be doing some live posts. From there, you're going to be getting some testimonials from the people that experience it. You're going to be taking us on a visual of the location. I'm just so excited for you and to know that you are in this space and that God is there with you. I love you.
I love you too.
Brains, I love you too. Go check it out. Get yourself together. Come out of ignorance. Become enlightened. Bye.